Okay. So I thought I might start at the beginning of my journey into psychosis, as far as I can remember, when I first started writing my first major book called Divergent Mind, which is the namesake of this podcast. Um, it's not a very coherent book. There's scientific facts within it, there's designs within it, there's rambling, psychotic episodes within it. I just want to explain what it's like being a schizoaffective person with bipolar subtype from the beginning and then coming out of that. And if it's able to help anybody, that would just make my day. So this is Divergent Mind by Jay. When Big Brother turns his eyes on you, his gaze is maddening. Okay, and this is an introduction. This was originally written for my brother Kay. He asked me to write about myself, and I couldn't think of a better way to do it. I was diagnosed as severely mentally ill sometime in 2015. These are the notes and machinations of what my broken, and recovering mind came up with in a simple diary style up until the end of the book, which would be around just before Christmas 2018, as it was intended as a gift to him. I decided against editing the posts in any way except to remove names to keep their authenticity intact. I also chose not to release the very first note within the system as it was pure madness, but perhaps, upon review, we'll include it so that you may see how things change over time. Much pleasure, Jay. Okay, here's the first post. It's dated October 30th, 2015. The way that my systems work in my head is I go by date. So I might have like 4 to 6 entries all for the same day. They might cover a vast variety of subjects, or they could be wholly one thing. But usually, if it's a different entry, then it's just me having a new thought system upon the old one, and it's branching off. So here is the very first thought that I had on October 30th, 2015. A massive influx of workers needing a job after the GI Bill ran out. Getting home, ready for anything but fighting again. Happy to do any work as long as it's an honest day for an honest day's wage. Anything is honest because you're not shooting and gutting people for $4 a day. The female demographic that couldn't help personally fight, built up masses of schooling and greater knowledge bases to help fuel and guide the returning healthy drone workforce. Places that hired both and paid well produced the best things the quickest and got to be innovative. Those that stuck to pre-war or during the war systems and didn't join the workforces stagnated. Some took 80 years to do such financial surplus. Some took 80 years to do so, since such financial surplus was produced it could be self-feeding almost indefinitely in theory. So we're sitting at the end of an 80-year decline into a depression designed to never have happened because the machine feed the innovators until they get complacent died from luxurious lifestyles or moved outside their chosen and developed sectors, not to mention those people that burnt out or languished in a general sense. You have a constant stream of people that grew up in the idea that America can fix your problem if you sacrifice your life towards its goals for the greater good. They become disillusioned over the course of a single generation when all the good jobs by those that spent the most time working, developing, and learning the skill sets are taken, filled, automated, and removed. The next generation gets bitter because all they know is that their parents always fought about money, no one was happy, and even if you worked for 40 years at a company, they'll tank your pension and leave your city to rot afterwards. Cost efficiency is always key to longevity. Americans needed too much to live a proper lifestyle, but others didn't. Hell, the right places would pay their workers just enough so that their children to work there became a necessity. It was still cheaper than feeding one American family. Healthcare became expensive because the best of the best demanded 6 to 7 figures to do their work, deservingly so, or programmed to think so that quite literally 2 pills cost the poor 1/2 month's budget for food. Yes, people can live off $20 a fortnight because they have to. The cities, having already subsidized their vegetables and yard stock growth to outlying areas, died when those farms were bought out, undersold, undercut, and taken advantage of by large corporations, i.e. Walmart, because they eventually had no other choice. Walmart will take your groceries or no one else will. We'll pick them up by Tuesday, then 2 weeks pass. Oh, the vegetables are rotten. That'll cost you. But we'll be nice and still take them for you. from you. Not to mention the suburban sprawl facing the rich farmland to be poor foundation for high rises, low rises, and apartment complexes to house the newly arrived and hopeful. The planet has always been ruled by the 0.1%. People seem to be misinformed about such things. The Renaissance was paid by two main families in the Vatican, though it was better business to ask for the art as a gift for your faith and hope someone would pay you for the thousands of hours of work and decades of training like now. Portland Art Museum wouldn't talk to me for a fit of my work in any way. Then I said I wanted to gift them some. Instant response: fuck the art world. The innovators today die because they can't stand or won't warrant the idiotic drone schooling system that's been set in place to force a layer of the perpetual poor, and can't get jobs suitable to their self-made skill sets because some nutsack in HR that had no choice because of their innate lack of talent doesn't see a receipt marked AA, BA, or my favorite BS, and in a flick of inattention to detail votes your life is worthless. You have to work a full-time job just to make rent, not to mention food. If you want to eat, you better get into a tenement situation because you're forced to live with others because there's literally no choice not to do so. So Kafka was right. We're all roaches, the perpetual poor. We move the machinations with our breath, lubricate the workings with our carcasses, and hope beyond the doubt that tomorrow won't be just as awful. The training is exceptional. Born from birth to dirge, lamenting the loss of life, so young and ready and willing to work for a better tomorrow. I'm hungry, I'm bored, I'm pretty sure I can tell who's going to be your next president. That movie was excellent, and I'm going to go work to get the P. marking off my chest before I take myself out of the equation. The suicide numbers are so high because the newer generation has the fortunate ability to see all of history in a single day in their pocket. You've built generations of realists from the land of dreamers, and we're killing ourselves because we, or they, can't think of a better future. So I'll do my part to fix that. More than my part. Humans have done nothing but fail for their collective intrusions. That's why innovators, white unicorns, or unicorns in general, are so damned important. Because they figured out that they're important and the community has shown them to be true. Regardless of their own misguided arrogance or lack of education, the potential for improvement on a cascade scale is inherently built within every innovator or person. The only thing that stops them is their own inability to get what they need, either learned, given, or taken. Oftentimes their patience or lack thereof does them in. I'm waving at you. And sometimes their community or just some phone sanitizer blocks their method upwards and they cave. A house of cards is only as secure as its entirety. We had to build a freestanding bridge in Physics 1 class at a community college I attended, and I decided we should build it like you would in real life, both sides concurrently balanced throughout constructions to meet in the middle. The goal was that a 4 meter was that 4 meter sticks could be placed against it and it wouldn't fall. It held 6 and a slight shove from the professor. It was also the tallest structure the teacher had ever seen successfully built, enough so that we posed with it and took a photo. I couldn't write my name as a straight line on the whiteboard. I could build that though without any training. The only reason it wasn't bigger was because we ran out of materials and had to scale it back. I'm an arrogant man, but I'm not arrogant. I'm closer to was than Jobs, but I can be either if you like. An amalgamation of them both, perhaps. The foresight of one, the inability of the other. I'm not insane. I'm mentally ill from a level of public and private abuse most don't know to even think of as possible. I'm overcoming it more each day and more so each and every day. I'm sitting here writing you lucidly and amicably. My spelling has suffered from a lack of human contact, and my tact bottomed out when I broke. I'm obviously better than I was. You can be decent and gifted. Okay, challenge accepted. October 30th, 2015. Things to consider. I talk over people when I get to their point before them. I also do that when I think I've gotten to their point before them. It's not something that I'm proud of or do intentionally. It's the only way I got a word out growing up. It's a terrible habit and I'm working on it. Same with the face blindness. The lack of reference getting on my side is actually embarrassing to me. No, I don't know who John England is. I only saw Halloween a few months ago. Stuff like that. Locked room, locked life, forced inward perspective. Post what, where, when, how, to whom regarding? If I pick your brains, I can learn to emulate your successes. You can teach me your faults and misgivings about me personally and professionally. Where can I meet you to get started? After which conditions have been met by myself, may I intern while I learn, so that I may learn in an inspired, productive atmosphere? May I visit labs to learn what I can and make efficient what I may? Can a centering machine work with? Yes, of course it can. How do I go about getting one to build with? The generator hasn't stopped moving in my head for years and is honestly giving me a bit of a headache. I'm a cycler. I will either be intently happy, upset, or depressed. I know no other emotions. Work, not work, hate life. The fun stuff for me is seeing something I made, a touchable thing. The knowledge that I made it doesn't matter to me. It's the fact that my head's just that much emptier and being filled anew. I'm now just learning what a regular emotion is. I'm 9,889 days old and just now understanding that I don't have to be in the laws of three. It's unfortunate that it's known, but it happened and I'm not currently wanting to off myself, which seems like a win-win regardless of how fucked up I was before then. It was really sitting there and not being me. Darkness bred darkness until the light swept in. So the big badasses in the area are ON Semiconductor, HP, hopefully Apple, Windows, Google, and whomever else could be interested in making things with me. The Hollywood crowd is ridiculously forgiving. I honestly don't know if it was legitimate conversation until it was way too late. You get told you're possibly bipolar and perhaps schizophrenic, and they give you the maximum amount of antipsychotics they can, and then you learn that those people you were talking to and about are actually listening and some want to help. And your brain breaks because you've had about 3 weeks of outside the house time in the last 2 years and you fuck it up pretty badly. The meds do their thing, you get a little bit darker and a lot harder on yourself, which antidepressants always do to me, and you fuck it up further. You see two people on screen that you admire very much, and because of the clinic you were at, they played some little princess thing about a magical starfish, and someone posted on Reddit that Patrick Star didn't know anything because he literally lived under a rock, and you say SpongeBob because you're half loopy already, and the meds are just wreaking havoc, resettling your levels, and you just fucked that up so badly. I had no fucking idea. I thought, and part of me still does, I don't trust anyone fully. I don't think I currently know how. Too many cases of getting fucked over is my defensive statement, but probably just because I don't know how to properly do that yet. You guys put me in Bob's Burgers, you put Yo-Yo Ma on The Simpsons, and you ran decades of the very pinnacle of art, animation. I only watch cartoons and you put me in them, and the broken raving part of me said fuck you very much and I'm sorry. Because thank you so very much. If this turns out alright, I'll get to write a book about my life. I'll draw your portraits into it. You pull me back again and again, and some of you waited it out, and that's amazing. I've started watching late night programming just in case I can see you guys smiling, enjoying your night. I know that there are people there watching. They're likely not the person on screen given with you your movement signified through motion capture. It's my job to figure out my part in this. My art is a coping mechanism, and I've not had the need to make anything in weeks. I just want to make technical drawings, learn how to wire them beforehand, and get them made. Large scale reform is a given, but I can't do jack with $8 in my bank accounts. I'm not asking for a gift, but I need help. I'm learning to be an adult at an odd time in my life cycle. Feeding and clothing others since I was 4. Taking care of my own needs, still learning. So I'm not giving away things for free anymore. Your present will be interesting. If I'm wrong this time, I'll be right the next time and no one will know who I picked. To make money, on a grand scale, I'll need to make something from my workshop in my head. To make something from my workshop in my head beyond drawings and napkins, I need money and mentorship because I've never had it. It's something I've always looked for and never found. Probably because I keep looking for the watchers who are passive in nature in a disproportionately ill-conceived way. You're all very busy people, but you continuously make time for me, so it's logically something you care about or you are determined to see achieved for the sake of what if. I agree. I'm just sitting here eating myself to death like my dad taught me at the moment. I want to be able to work out in the gym without feeling off. It's not the people that freaked me out. It's the collective movement of a room onto me that did. Get used to that now. I always looked at the floor as a kid because that's how books are faced when you read while walking. I'm not ignoring you. I'm testing myself to see what mechanics cause unhelpful triggers. How amazing are other countries' tech centers? There's people I want to know as well. Endgame doesn't involve a border, just an atmosphere. So if I agree to stop being a shithead and so self-involved, can I start meeting these cool people? Hollywood, Technowood, any of it? The faster and more often I'm in real human contact with these members, the faster I can become my old sociable self. It was something management at Big Five took months teaching me to be, and it got covered in blackberry in the woods. It's there, since I've been sitting here writing this as such, and that me gets stuff done, and that was actually learning how to have fun before Dad died. My family sucks. What does a communal family feel like? Like, what's that like? I keep thinking I keep fucking that up because I literally don't know what you want of me of what I'm supposed to do within a group, like two to three people at once max for most of my life. It's kind of like hitting a golf ball and exploding like an atom bomb. Well, it was. I'm staying clean shaven and I'll get my routine back when I start taking my pills at 5 p.m. before dinner at 7 or 8. If I called MIT, would they be willing to tell me a proper course load for their classes? Things to do this week. Go back to the gym. Go to the sauna. Even if there's guys jacking off in there like last time. The striped Speedo dickwad. Not an anti anything, but you couldn't have done that shit in the shower. I wouldn't have to deal with it. I'm not stopping a needed and welcome spiritual moment because you feel like whacking it. My first sauna was done properly, and I love the introspection they give. Put up a calendar for the month with lessons, times, and hours. Find a drafting table for $4. Haha. I miss my drafting table. Oh, Will Forte is on something tonight. Gotta go watch that before hitting bed. I made a Woz painting a few days ago that you literally can't see on a computer because it breaks the pixel arrangement. It's art you have to see in person, which is the point of art anyway. October 30th, 2015. Keep sleeping until the afternoon with Serico, having regular dreams, nonsensical themes. Kay and I are in Brazil building some tech. Time runs out and we're pulled in towards our death, attempting to escape and wake up saying not okay over and over. Dreams are annoying, preferred the workshop. Forcing REM sleep seems to help with my general health though. Go to work out today, starting some 4-week lifting plan. Once that's done, I'll be able to go to the gym and not feel like a noob. Have to wait until Jeanette gets home so I can watch the form videos of each movement, and it's doable with the lifting gear I've got at the home gym. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I have nothing but free time to answer them. Thank you.